Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm actually really excited about this week's video because I will be ranking the Caribbean islands. Now before I get too far into this, I do want to make it really clear that I'm not hating on any of these islands, but I will be giving them ranks of what I personally experienced in my time on the ships, and ranks on what I thought was great and what I thought was not great. But this doesn't mean that you shouldn't go and visit all these islands. You 100% should, and you can give it your own ranking system. Also, don't forget, if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Now let's get to the islands. I don't really have a good way of doing this, so I just picked a bunch of islands that came to the top of my head really fast, and I guess I'll list them in alphabetical order. Starting with A, Aruba. Now Aruba is actually really nice, and the beaches are beautiful. Basically, Aruba has beautiful beaches and good rum. But for me, it was just too expensive, and even though the beaches are pretty, a lot of the Caribbean has pretty beaches, so I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. Bahamas. Now I know I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this because everyone loves the Bahamas, but I personally think it's way overrated. It's not that it's not nice, but I don't know, for me there's nothing that really makes the Bahamas stick out from any other island. There's beautiful beaches all around the Caribbean, and I mean, it's not that expensive, but it's not wow, it doesn't have that wow factor, and I think it's a little overrated. If you're a college student or you just want to go and party, it's good for that vibe. But again, you can kind of get that all over the Caribbean. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 10. Belize. Now, I didn't visit any of these islands without the ship. So based on my personal experience of Belize, I do like it, but there's just not much to do in walking distance from the port. And there's only one beach. It's called Cucumber Beach. I'm not sure which way it's pronounced. Cucumber? But there's just not that much to do. But it is gonna get extra points because my favorite coffee shop in all of the Caribbean is in Belize. If you're a scuba diver or a snorkeler, it's supposed to be the best snorkeling in all of the Caribbean off the coast of Belize, but I just never personally did it, so that's why my ranking is still pretty low at a 6. Cuba. Now, Cuba gets extra points because it's hard for Americans to get in general, so I feel super special that I got to spend so much time in Cuba. And it has such a beautiful, colorful culture, and there's always someone dancing on every single street corner, and the sun is amazing in Cuba. But personally, after being in Cuba I think I was in Cuba for 4 or 5 months, it kind of got old. Now, I don't want to hate on Cuba or anyone in Cuba. Again, this is just based on my personal experiences in the Caribbean, and I have tons of Cuban friends that are amazing, but Cuba's a little dirtier than some of the other islands, and also communism, so it loses a couple points for that. However, it has the best seafood in all of the Caribbean, and lobster is really cheap. I used to be able to get a full lobster for 5 kooks, which is I don't know, more relevant to a euro, so it's maybe $6 or $7. So lobster is really cheap and really good in Cuba. Every single night we went out in Cuba, we all shared Havana Club, and I still have really good and really bad memories from that. So Cuba gets a 5 out of 10. I had a hard time ranking Jamaica because I personally really do like Jamaica. When I was little, I went on a missions trip with my dad in Kingston, and I fell in love with the people and the culture from that young age. So now I just I feel it holds a little piece of my heart. But also Jamaicans are probably some of the pushiest salesmen in all of the Caribbean. So the second you walk off the ship, especially for the passengers that just don't really know what they're getting into, they'll walk off the ship and people are trying to sell them weed, trying to sell them food, trying to sell them rum, trying to sell them everything, and they can get really pushy. It is the best food. Jerk chicken, Jamaican patties, I could eat all day long. Jamaican food is really good. At the same time, it's kind of dirty, and also violence is really high. So that's why I have to give it a 5.5. Mexico is my favorite. Oh my goodness. There's nothing bad about Mexico. I know it's not really an island, but it is a popular cruise stop, so I'm putting it in this list. Every single port is amazing. The people are amazing. The energy in the cities is incredible. The food is so cheap. I love Mexico. I don't know how to explain it. Just the atmosphere is popping. I don't think I ever had a bad day when we were docked in Mexico. If Mexico is in our itinerary and I'm completely exhausted, I will sleep through all the other ports just so I can go out in Mexico. Mexico gets an 1,000 out of 10. Okay, my Panamanian friends are gonna hate me for this because I feel like I really haven't like properly gotten to discover your country, so maybe I shouldn't be ranking on this list, but I'm gonna do it anyways. This is, you know, based on my personal experiences, okay? Panama is probably gonna be like the lowest ranking stop on my list. It actually has like nothing to really do with the country at all. When we docked in Panama, I personally just always had bad experiences because we were docking in a working port, which means that guests can't just walk and come and go freely. So basically we had to hold all the guests on board and let them off like one bus load at a time, which takes hours upon hours upon hours, especially when you have like 4,500 passengers on your ship. And I just remember standing at like security trying to stop passengers from like exiting, and they're like calling me the most horrific things, and I would like eventually just like, people would physically push me. People are so rude sometimes. Like, I know you're upset, and there were definitely things that the company could have done better to make that line move faster, but you don't need to like push me. And then like passengers were like fighting with passengers. And so every single time we docked in Panama, that was my experience. So I just have like a sour taste in my mouth for Panama. One time the captain walked by me in position and saw me crying. And that was like the most embarrassing thing in the world. Like, the captain saw me crying. And also I never got to see the Panama Canal. So I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 10. I don't want anyone to take any of this to heart or personally. I'm just kind of ranking these for fun. So please don't get offended if I list any of your countries and I didn't have a personally great experience. When I did get to go outside, it was like, okay, it was fun. We got to explore a little bit, but Panama can be quite dangerous in some parts, so you really have to be careful about how far you explore. I had this one experience where this was my first contract. I don't even speak any Spanish at all, and we just walked too far, and I was with another American and a Canadian that also did not speak Spanish, and the cops started following us around and were trying to like communicate to us that like we were in a bad part of town. But like we just didn't understand, and it was like the most awkward conversation. And then they asked if they could take pictures with us, and it was so funny. They just wanted to take a picture with like the clueless white American that would wander into the wrong part of town, you know. So that was kind of funny, and the people were really nice. So like, I guess I shouldn't be giving it, maybe I'll rank it up. I'll give it a 4 out of 10 because the people were nice. I just feel like I didn't get to properly experience Panama. Oh my gosh, Puerto Rico is a part of my heart. Like, the people are the most amazing people in the world. They're so nice. Most of them are bilingual and they love it. Like, if you're trying to learn their culture and your language, they're just like the most amazing passengers, the most amazing people, and it's the most amazing island. Like, oh, gosh, Puerto Rico. A lot of these like crew would disagree on of like what they do like and what they don't like about certain islands, but like almost all crew is like, with Puerto Rico. The food is bomb. The culture is so beautiful and nice. You get old history and new history. It's just like the perfect country. The weather is amazing. The beaches are amazing. It's not so expensive. There's like not a lot that you can't get in Puerto Rico. Oh my gosh, the street food. I still have dreams about the street food in Puerto Rico. I would go back over and over and over again just to buy street food. Saint Martin, Saint Martin, I think it's like a Dutch/French pronunciation. I'm American, so I like to pronounce things improperly. So for the sake of this video, we're gonna call it Saint Martin. Love Saint Martin. It's like one of my favorite stops, and it's also one of like cruise favorite stops in general. Saint Martin is what we call a crew port because so many things are walking distance, and it's super, super, super close to the beaches. The food is super, super cheap. It's just like an all-around nice port for crew to get off and explore and actually have time to do things in. Also, they're getting an additional point because out of all the sushi in the Caribbean, St. Martin has my favorite sushi restaurant, so they get 7 out of 10. While we're on the Saints, I'm gonna skip over to St. Kitts, but I don't have so much to say about it because I only went a few times my first contract. It is French owned, so it's a little bit more expensive, but also like the whole island is like covered in monkeys, and monkeys are like my favorite animal in the world. So just for the fact that they have monkeys, I'm giving them a 7 out of 10. If you guys like these rankings, I will make a part 2 and maybe list even more islands, or I can even do the Mediterranean or different countries I've cruised to. Any countries or islands or ports that you want me to rank, make sure to drop in the comments below and I will make a part 2. It makes me so happy that there's so many followers on here already, and I can't wait until we actually start traveling again post-pandemic and we're gonna make the coolest videos. I just know. Sorry, I guess I use my hands a lot. I think it's because I work with Italians. I am Caitlin. It's so much fun making these videos, and this was really fun to come up with the ranking systems for all these islands. So thank you so much to Anna for that idea. And as I always say, ciao for now. I'm saying like ciao for now because, again, my company's Italian, but I really feel like I should come up with a better slogan. So also, if you have any ideas for slogans, please drop them in the comments below. Thank you.